Here we have a man who works, pays taxes, and come to find out for 15 years his social security number is being used by an illegal immigrant. Of course, in Minnesota, a father is suffering 15 years of hardship due to this Guatemalan stealing his social security number. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is detaining these documents of fraud migrants with inflict massive economic and civic damage in ordinary American families. The New York Times actually sketched a small bit of this, but they're actually pushing more for the illegal immigrant, of course. But I'm going to tell you the facts here about the victim. Dan Kluver, a married father of two in Olivia, Minnesota. The damage was done by this migrant who worked long hours in another state until his arrest by the Department of Homeland Security in March. The Guatemalan migrant used Kluver's ID to get a job, and the employer reported the wages to the IRS, which then demanded extra taxes from Kluver's family. You see, the identity theft has also dragged Kluver into a wrongful death lawsuit after the migrant actually unalived an American in an auto accident as well. This fake Dan Kluver earned more than his own salary at a local sugar beet factory. They pushed this income underneath Social Security number into a higher tax bracket as the debt started to mount under Kluver. He actually contacted law enforcement twice, filed an identity theft report in federal government where it landed in a pile along tens of thousands of similar reports filed each year. He waited for relief while the IRS docked his annual tax returns and garnished his wages at a few paychecks a month, costing him thousands. Now, finally, a few months ago, before their wedding in 2012, Christy decided to pay off the balance, emptying her savings and sending in a check for $6,000. Their relief lasted until the next tax season, and then a new bill arrived, and this one was for $22,000. Of course, these editors are pro-migration editors that don't disclose how much Kluver and his wife and children were required to pay to the IRS due to the fraud perpetrated by this migrant, and it's illegal from the employers, and Congress. Now, if you read further into this article, the IRS oversight system was backlogged. Now, get this, with 1 million suspicious numbers and almost 80,000 reports of Social Security fraud in the last 6 months alone. Now, the New York Times actually backpedaled the sympathy for Kluver, but they gave most sympathy for, of course, the illegal immigrants. This article is actually silent about the employers who accepted Guatemalans' clearly fake ID numbers and is silent about the legislatures and Congress and the officials at the IRS who did little or nothing to stop the fraud damage for more than 20 years. This March, local police had raided the Department of Homeland Security, finally aided the American citizen by arresting the illegal immigrant who had stolen the identity. But his lawyers advised him that he was essentially out of options and that she managed to postpone his case until at least January of 2026. But he is faced with a mandatory minimum sentence of 2 years in prison, which taxpayers will pay for his lovely stay if it's here in the United States, followed by deportation to Guatemala. Now, the article actually passed up what had actually happened, that this migrant actually unalived an elderly American in the automobile accident. A court ruled that the death was not his fault. This country is messed the hell up. 80,000 on backlog. 1 million. Think about that. 1 million people's social security number that people are reporting, and the IRS is not doing anything about it, but you got to pay for it until they decide to do their damn job and arrest these people. Congress is involved. Who's getting paid off this? Who's getting paid off this? Country crazy out.